Hello and welcome to Bend the Knee, a Song of Ice and Fire podcast. I am Sir Matt, the Bud Knight.
And I am Sir Ezra, the Watchful. Welcome to Follow-Up Friday, probably turning into one of my favorite episodes that we do, getting all of your questions, all of your Ravens sent in each week. We actually, Sir Matt and I noticed a huge increase in Ravens and in comments on Facebook and stuff like that. I would like to go ahead and actually push for, if you are a listener and you like the podcast, head over to Facebook and like the page. As soon as we get to 200 likes, we're going to start a Facebook group, and we thought that would be kind of cool. That way, basically, you don't have to wait on us to post stuff. You guys, if you see stuff from the show, you can post it. If you see stuff from, just funny memes, if you have theories, I think a lot of you send us really good Ravens, and so as we get more, there might be some of you who want to send us a Raven, but then maybe you've got like a snidbit, a side story, or a tangent that you want to post on Facebook. I'm telling you, go right ahead and do that. We would love to do that. So as soon we're getting closer, but as soon as we get to those 200 likes or they're close, we'll start the group, and you guys can kind of run it. We might need some moderators, hand of the king or something.
Yeah, depends on what happens. And real quick, I was going to reference this later, but I think I'll go ahead and do it now. One of our new patrons here, who is a bannerman, has no name.
Yeah.
He sent us a Raven, and we'll get to his actual question, kind of response to something we asked last week. But he asked me a question today. He said, "Good sirs, which is your preference for sending Ravens, answering trivia, and any other correspondence? Do you prefer this message or the patron messenger or email? Cheers from a bannerman has no name." So I will say this, as I kind of told him, if you, I would say Facebook, Instagram, a voicemail, Patreon, or Gmail. If you send a Instagram direct message, slide into that DM, or send a message on Facebook, I, Sir Matt, will answer. And, both of those are acceptable things. And the phone conversation, if you leave a voicemail or a Gmail or hit us up on Patreon, Sir Ezra typically runs those. So if you specifically want to hit one of us up or whatever works easiest for you, we both see them, we both read them. But it's just a little bit easier for us to kind of have chosen things to manage.
Yeah, and actually something neat on that note, because I will say on Patreon, once you sign up and you're looking for your sigil, I'll say, hey, please go to Facebook and send a private message to our Facebook, and Sir Matt will hook you up with a sigil. And if we get too many of those, I help him work on those and stuff. Now, as far as the trivia goes and stuff like that, when you want to send in like an answer for trivia, you can send those to anything. We look at the end of each week, or actually as they're coming in, we just see the first thing that comes through because our phones are linked up to all those different accounts. Although I reply to the Patreon and the Gmail, Sir Matt can see that as well. So we timestamp everything.
Yep.
So
I will say just one quick thing I want to mention about the Facebook. So Facebook is kind of weird in how we get rated on our response time. And if you respond or not. So I've kind of just been, diving into data metrics and all this stuff. So I think actually I have to speak last, or it negatively affects our response time. So if I just kind of send a thumbs up at the end, know that I'm not just brushing you off. It's just kind of a way for us to keep our score. Unfortunately, that's kind of how Facebook works, I think.
Yeah, that's a good thing to say, because we love having the back and forth. That doesn't mean once you see a thumbs up, you can't hit us up tomorrow or the next day or whatever.
or keep going, whatever's fine. It's just, I've definitely been in those situations where you're kind of like, somebody's kind of like, all right, like, thanks, I'll hit you up later. And you're like, okay, cool, have a good day. And they're like, bye. And then it's like, well, it's awkward to say bye again. You know what I mean? When I'm kind of left with those, I'm like, oh, I think this is hurting our time. So
yeah, it's good. It's
unfortunate, but it's just kind of how it works. So
yeah, that's one of the high points for our podcast. Actually, is we have such a fast response rate on Facebook, and so that's where we do a lot of our correspondence. And so even I will check it. And if I see something that Sir Matt didn't get to or whatever, I'll hit him up in a text and say, hey man, I got that last message, or whatever. Just type of thing. So
yeah, we try to respond as quickly as possible, and so that's why we've both just kind of like, I'm gonna manage this, you manage this, and it works. So far, it's working really well. So.
Yeah. One more update for the show too. Our Patreon members, the shirts were mailed out earlier this week, so those should be coming in maybe over the weekend, maybe early next week. So hopefully, as you guys get those,
and I think there's a couple little extra goodies in there.
Yeah, there's a little something extra. We got something extra planned too in the fall that we're gonna send out as well. So we're excited about all of that good stuff. Sir Ezra is working on something extra special for our patrons. So, we definitely wanted to thank you guys for all of your support and everything. Working on different tiers, working on different goals and stuff like that. So, we're excited to do a little archery competition, a little trial by combat.
Yeah. So, Sir Ezra, real quick, I guess we both kind of say I was on vacation. Sir Ezra's going on vacation.
Right, yeah.
And actually, just to let you guys know, we just recorded the main show Sunday.
Yes.
So we're kind of recording these in weird orders here. And so in that episode, we said, hey, we're going to talk about the news in Follow Up Friday. And so now we're at Follow Up Friday.
I know,
we're recording. So it's just weird for us. But Sir Ezra, again, any big news happen? Anything I miss while I was on vacation going on in the Game of Thrones world?
I don't know, man. There wasn't much. There was this
tiny little announcement.
Yeah, tiny announcement. Something about like a prequel series being
getting a pilot. I mean,
Age of Heroes.
Age of Heroes. I mean,
something pretty cool.
No, literally, I was on vacation, and I believe you were at kind of like a comic convention.
Yeah, Comic-Con. Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
I was trying to hit up Khal Drogo, but didn't get to him. So
yeah, you met with
the Horde was there. The Dothraki Horde was all around him. I couldn't get to him.
I mean, you did get a signed thing from
Billy Boyd.
From Billy Boyd, who plays Pippin and Lord of
it was
the Rings.
close.
That's kind of cool.
Cool.
I mean,
that was really cool.
No, it's super awesome.
It was a lot of fun. So I'm hoping. Actually, we may be hitting up the guy that plays Jaime Lannister.
Yeah, and so actually, I think you want to talk about kind of what it's. Everyone knows we kind of have a couple other projects. We don't really ever talk about them much.
Right.
I thought what you're doing is actually a cool idea, and we might toss it out here. Same thing.
So we're actually looking to go to more Comic-Cons, and that's sort of where Patreon comes in and helps us, travel and get autographs and do different things. Is it? Oh, I can never say his name. Is it Nick?
I don't know.
Nicola, I can't even say his name. But the guy that plays Jaime Lannister, God bless him, awesome guy, super cool dude. He's going to be near our kingdom, and so we thought we would go down and have a little shake his hand.
Yeah.
Hand if he has one. I don't. We'll shake his hand and hopefully get an autograph from him. But if we do, something that's kind of neat that we do in another project is once we get something signed like that, people who are a part of our Patreon or just avid listeners, people who are, sending us multiple Ravens. We have regular correspondence with some people, and it's pretty awesome. So those people, we put out like a form, and we say, would you like to participate in us? It's a big trust thing, right? It's sort of it also helps glue the book club together. You feel more connected. We take a signed photo, and we start to pass it around the book club. Yeah. And when you get it, it's signed to our book club. Yeah. And then what you would do is basically you would take pictures, you would tag that actor in it, you would do something funny with it, and it sort of helps promote the book club, promote us here, and it's just kind of a cool way to be connected. You accept to sort of like if we send it to you, then we tell you get to spend like 3 to 5 days with it, do whatever you want, and then after that, if you keep it too long, Sir Matt will send you a gentle reminder, and then you send it to the next person and things like that. And when it needs to go international, you send it back to us, and we will ship that bad boy to Regine Where does she? Doesn't she live in a place called? She lives in a place called Asland.
I believe it is.
I'm just kidding, Regine. I'm sorry.
That's okay. Yeah, I believe it's Oslo, Norway.
Oslo. Yeah. Her name is her name is Oslo. Her name is, I don't even know.
We don't know.
Regine, we love you, and thank you so much for your regular patience and correspondence.
Yeah.
But it would be fun. It would be fun to do.
Yeah, it'd be super fun. We're gonna see how it kind of goes with one of the other projects. I think it's super cool.
Yeah.
All right. So the trivia last week. We didn't even talk about the show.
We didn't even talk about the show.
Okay. All right. We got to talk about the show first. So. What do you think?
Age of Heroes.
Age of Heroes. Here's kind of how I think it should go. This is kind of my prediction here. So when you look at HBO and the things they've handled, they handle a lot of different. They handle essentially the same show, right? Like go watch Deadwood and compare it to Game of Thrones, where it's like really intense. like kind of backstabbing political drama, but that's like a Western. And then you've got like The Wire, which is kind of like Baltimore, I think drugs kind of thing. Same kind of a thing. Westworld, I think you're a little more familiar with Westworld than I am.
Yeah.
But they make, it's essentially that really deep, gritty kind of, there's always like politics kind of going on and stuff.
Yeah.
So that's going to be interesting for this, because I think this is going to be far more magic based.
Yeah, that's interesting. I see that because
there's going to be Children of the Forest, White Walkers. I think that's kind of what we're going.
Yeah, they're much more prevalent, right? I mean, they're again, you're talking about even inside of that age of heroes, there's thousands of years.
Absolutely.
And so it's kind of tough to say, like, when did the long night come? When did the Dawn Age end, and then the Age of Heroes begins?
Yeah.
And all that good stuff.
It could even be the Children of the Forest could be the main characters.
Yeah, that'd be crazy.
I think it's going to be Bran the Builder. If I had to take a guess.
Yeah, I think
it would be perfect. Real quick, I think I think the perfect ending is you end it with like White Walker being created. Then it sets up Game of Thrones.
Yeah, do you think this is you mean all that in one season, or several seasons to set that up?
Yeah, I think it's like 5 seasons.
Gotcha, to set that up. Okay. Yeah, I mean, what I think would be neat is right now during that time period, you've got you do have the Andals there, who have come over, and you've got the mixing of first men, so you've got marriages going on, you've got multiple kingdoms, multiple kings in those kingdoms, right? So we're not united under one king. So there's a lot of vying for power and stuff like that. And so House
Greenhand,
House Gardner would be a player, and you would see the Tyrells in like a lower position, which would
even
be
the Lannisters, the Casterlys would be run on the show.
Right, that kind of stuff, which would be really neat to see.
The Targaryens aren't even over there.
Yeah.
Who kind of rules the Storm? I guess House Durrandon.
Durrandon.
Durrandon, yeah.
House Durrandon. Yeah, I forgot about that.
Storm's End.
What is it? Argilac the Arrogant, right?
Yeah.
Well, actually, that's more during the Conquest,
later,
but yeah, it's still the Stormlands. You're right. That's to do some looking into that. House Aaron. Gosh, yeah. So there's a lot of different players, things that could happen. And it would be neat to sort of see people defending their. I don't know how much those kingdoms interacted and things like that, and married and stuff like that. That's the thing. It's kind of vague, so we could see a lot of that going on.
Yeah, so super cool, super interesting. I actually just had a really good thought, and I kind of lost it.
Well, so you mentioned what you think that it might be, and that there might be more magic.
Oh yeah, I know
involved.
what I'm talking about,
I was thinking that these things come and go, and it wouldn't surprise me if they referred to the Dawn Age as this time when magical things happened, and that during the Age of Heroes, it's not as magical as we think. And there could be thousands of years. Sometimes it's presented to us that like, that some of these people lived, that kings were ruling for hundreds and hundreds of years, and they weren't. And it was just kings with the same name.
Right.
And we don't really exactly know.
It's about Azor Ahai.
Is it about Azor Ahai? That's good. That's a good point. Is that what you were going to say?
Well, no, I was thinking of something else, but that came to me. I was going to talk about kind of the show and its success and what they're expecting and stuff like that. So,
yeah, go for it. Yeah, what do you got?
Well, I mean, another thing about it is, Game of Thrones, I mean, no joke, is quite literally the most successful show ever. I guess by some standards, I think it has won more Academy Awards than any other show. I think it beat out Frasier a couple years ago. Now, Frasier, to be fair, was a spinoff of Cheers, which, Cheers was like 11 seasons, won a ton of Academy Awards. Frasier was like 11, 12 seasons. Normally, spinoffs kind of die. There are not that many spinoffs that actually become successful. I guess you could maybe argue The Simpsons was it started like somewhere else. So I'm going to imagine HBO's going into this, and their expectations is this is not going to be the next, like, as big as Game of Thrones.
Sure.
I would hope so. Because otherwise they'll look at the ratings, and I don't think the ratings are going to be nearly as high as Game of Thrones.
Right, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, like, well, also the title, too, are they going to let people know that this is Game of Thrones?
Right, because there's
the big thing.
Isn't the follow-up to Breaking Bad Better Call Saul? Or something
really?
like that?
Okay.
Yeah, and it's like, not that I haven't seen Breaking Bad. I know it's amazing, but I just
Yeah.
It's not my thing,
I
but
mean-
I know there is a spin-off of it. I
Yeah.
think it's called Better Call Saul because that's like one of the characters. But like that would never let me know, oh, this is the sequel to Breaking Bad.
Gotcha. Yeah. Yeah. So that was my hope, is that they brand this the right way, so that way we still get a lot of attention,
Yeah.
on the series, because I think it's.
and then
I
it's
think
got
you will, but
it will. Yeah, it's got to stand on its own and stuff like that. So
Yeah.
I don't know. Super cool. So many cool things coming. I just hope it's gonna be great. So
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
So, all right.
Okay.
Winner of the trivia. The question last week was, who exposes Arya Stark's identity to the Brotherhood without banners? The answer is the Hound. And the winner, once again,
Yep.
Robert of Newcastle.
Sir Robert, really coming in there strong and cleaning up, just really week after week.
Yep.
It's fantastic. So now I am going on vacation, but we are going to work on that leaderboard. I said it last week, and Sir Matt was on vacation as well. So we have a list of things building up, but we're gonna get that going, because I think it'd be cool to kind of see. Is he a four-time winner now?
He's a four-time champion at this point.
Four-time.
I think Lord Adam Parker is a three-time champion. Robert is a four-time champion.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And Lady Lauren is one-time champion. Yeah.
Yeah, she snuck in there. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep, we've got other people who are coming in second and super close, and we have a lot of people respond.
Yeah, Rachel
to the trivia.
Lady Rachel. She stepped in once. Yeah, I think it was like last week. Yeah, but so
right. Yeah. So.
Oh no, and she was second. Yeah, she's been second twice. So.
Oh really?
So she's close. Yeah, she's close. Yeah.
Well, goodness. Well, we have to, we'll have to see how it goes.
Mm-hmm.
We'll have to see how it goes this week. So.
Okay. All right. So again, we already kind of mentioned her. Regine sent us. She had sent us a while back a kind of historical comparison.
I think she's talking about the War of Roses, wasn't she? Yeah.
Yeah. And so she just sent us another one. And like we always butcher your name, we want to. Thank you so much for sending it. We want, just with Sir Ezra and I on vacation and stuff like that, we want to because it's really in-depth and really good, we just kind of want to do some historical research.
Yeah.
And so we're going to push that one kind of back, but we will get to it. Thank you very much again for sending that. So,
and here's the thing. If I have to send an envoy or somebody out there to figure out how to pronounce your name, I will.
Name.
Okay.
Yeah. So
I will call a bannerman over in that area. I know a few people.
Yeah, we'll Sir Matt just got his passport, so I can go wherever.
I'm getting mine in like a month or so. So it's time to travel the world.
Mm-hmm. All right. Well, here we go. Sir Ezra, I want to say, I think you're being haunted.
You're darn right I am.
I think you're being haunted. We've had a couple messages here from someone simply known as the Ghost of Harrenhal. And he sends really in-depth questions, and they all seem like
he or she. We do not know.
Yeah,
just the
seem
ghost.
like they're very targeted at Sir Ezra. Sir Ezra, the watchful reader between the lines.
Yeah,
champion of the truth.
Man, it is.
We're starting to add some titles here. We think are pretty fun.
Yeah, actually, yeah. If you're a patron, you'll see on our something special that was in the package. You'll get some updates on that. But yes. Yeah, so I am. I'm starting. We have this regular correspondence, and I am really week after week challenged. And that is actually, I'll be honest with you, the ghost has forced me to start reading things from a certain point of view, right? So I've taken those point of view angles and just read. But unfortunately, I have one of my biggest flaws is I stop. Like I'll get going, like what the heck, what's going on here, and I'll chase. And actually, I blame Sir Matt for this. I chase a rabbit down a hole, and I get lost.
You chase ghosts.
I chase ghosts. I'm chasing.
Right.
I'm
just gonna go ahead and say it. I ain't afraid of no ghost.
What?
Okay,
right.
I'll say it.
I mean, I might be after these emails keep coming in. So this is so much fun though. So let's have it, and I'll see what we can do.
I'll read this one to you. Who are the only people present for the Mad King's final descent into madness? Jaime Lannister and Ilyn Payne. Ilyn Payne has been in the background of every important event in King's Landing in the past 3 generations. He has served as the King's justice for 2 kings, as well as the hand of the Mad King. Ilyn's lack of tongue is a badge of his Lannister loyalty. Cersei, Jaime, and Margaery have also divulged vital information and exposed their deepest secrets to Ilyn. When Jaime brings Payne along to help mold him into the best left-handed fighter he can be, we leave Ilyn Payne challenging Jaime and uttering a few beautiful words from a tongueless mouth. Does his potential word have any weight with the High Septon? Could he be the key to these two queens' release or destruction?
Okay, and that's the first question.
Yeah.
Correct? Okay.
Do you want to do this one first, and then we go to the second one?
Yeah, we should probably do them that way because I think they're
pretty
very different. And so I hadn't thought a whole lot about Sir Ilyn Payne, to be honest with you, and his
always
role.
just kind of there.
Yeah, and another thing, I guess I did sort of understand that he was close to the Lannisters. Podrick Payne, right? His cousin is what? He's squire to several different people, and then ends up being there for Tyrion, and then later Brienne. Of
And
Tarth.
real quick, even in the show,
Yeah.
still on Arya's list.
Yes, and it is in the books. I mean, doesn't Sir Ilyn Payne take ice, and doesn't he use ice to
behead Ned Stark?
Yes, I thought so. Okay,
And in the show.
And in the show, it's ice too. Okay,
Yeah.
cool. I couldn't remember in the show. So he has ice there for a while, and really the last thing I remember when I was reading the series the last time was that he was working with Jaime Lannister, and I think something. Yeah. Okay. So the ghost does say this. Jaime and Marjorie divulge a lot of vital information. They expose some of their deepest secrets to Ilyn. Okay?
They expose themselves to him.
They do.
You can say it.
They expose
themselves to him.
Okay. And I think what the ghost is getting to here is that, that when the two queens are taken in, right? Is there something that he can do? Is there a power play here coming?
Mm-hmm.
Where House Payne has always been close to the Lannisters, and Ilyn, was actually the reason his tongue was taken out is because he was, he's getting on the Mad King Aerys, right? It actually a little tangent there because I was just doing some digging on that the other day before I had seen this email, and the Mad King and Tywin used to be good friends.
Yeah,
they used to be really good friends, and I didn't realize how close that they were in their youth. And then as Tywin is hand of the king, he runs a solid kingdom, a really solid kingdom, and basically that irritates Aerys, Targaryen.
Yeah.
And he starts kind of like contradicting the Hand's orders. He starts to kind of like try to, like at one point there's a town, I can't remember which one it is, and the tariff is lowered by the Hand, right? Well, Aerys secretly raises it, and then when he comes to the town, they're complaining about it, and he looks like the good guy by lowering it, and it's just sort of like he's undoing some of what Tywin is doing, and it's all because people like Sir Ilyn Payne are saying, well, really, Tywin runs the kingdom. Who really runs this kingdom? Tywin. Who's the money? Tywin, right? The Lannisters, and that's the other piece too. So, but anyways, so Sir Ilyn is super close, and House Payne is close to the Lannisters. I think a power play is coming here where he may have information. He's heard all these things, and people say stuff to him because he can't talk or he can't write. And so that's another thing you need to remember is that he is not able to write. He's not very literate,
right?
I guess.
Well, can I just say something?
Yes.
At one point, all we thought Hodor could say was Hodor.
Yep. Come on, that is so true.
I'm just saying.
Right. Well, and so something that the ghost mentions here, right? As they're, Sir Jaime's trying to become, he's bettering his sword play, working on his left hand skill, and he takes Sir Ilyn Payne with him when he goes to the Riverlands, and they're kind of fighting one another. And I think we mentioned this a couple weeks ago, where we were talking about someone was asking us about what was going to happen with Jaime, and we talked about him becoming possibly Azor Ahai, different things like that, and so he while he's training with him, he's saying these things. I can't remember exactly where he's talking to Marjorie Tyrell. I don't know. Maybe you can look that up or something. I don't remember where he said something to her or what she divulged to him. I know that she did, but I just can't remember really what it was, what have you. So, but Jaime talks about having sex with his sister. I mean, he talks about the different things that
just your typical everyday,
typical stuff, right? And so Let's see. So let's read the question again. Does his potential word have any weight with the High Septon? Could he be the key to these two queens' release or their destruction? I think it's to one of their destructions. I think it could be to one of their destructions, possibly Queen Marjorie. Do you agree with that? I mean, and he would stay loyal to House Lannister. This is Cersei Lannister and Jaime Lannister, who are the offspring of his good friend Tywin. And Tywin, by the way, does him a favor by making him the executioner.
Yeah,
like that's
kind of a role where you're kind of out.
Yeah, it's a
good paying, probably a good paying role.
It's a good role, right? And I don't know, brings honor to him and his house, etc. So I could see him sticking up for the Lannisters and taking Marjorie, down in some way if he does have some secrets that he's heard from her and her family that could be used against them. So there's that whole bit. Now it is different in the show and in the books. Loras Tyrell is not there. He is not in prison. He's actually dying after a siege. Forget where the siege was at, if it was Dragonstone or somewhere else. But, he's actually distraught after Renly, Baratheon is killed and things. And so his life is very different after Renly's loss. So does his potential word have any weight on the High Septon? I don't think that Sir Ilyn Payne has a lot of sway there, and I'm not even really sure how he would articulate things to the High Septon. It would be difficult. He would have to, come up with some way to communicate. Now, random thought here. Have you seen the theories? We did this years ago about Ned Stark warging into people. Mm-hmm. Do you remember this? Mm-hmm. This was a couple years ago. This was
all,
like
the show, yeah.
Yeah, this was a huge thing. And it's all show-based. It's not really... I don't think there's not a whole lot of stuff in the books, unless if there is, send it to me.
In the show, it's because they kind of zoom in on him and he's kind of mouthing something.
Right.
And there have been interviews where he was like, there was an interview actually earlier this year. Somebody kind of asked him a question about Game of Thrones, and he said, what do you think? What was Ned Stark saying? And he was like, well, he'd probably just be praying.
Yeah.
And then, and of course, Sean Bean's kind of like, oh yeah, he'd probably be praying, like, whatever. And people immediately took that as, oh, he was praying to the gods and the gods.
Right.
Like,
exactly. Exactly. Yep. Who knows? I mean,
but maybe
people went nuts. What was more of a show-based theory, but
right.
one of the things in the show was Sir Ilyn Payne staring at Sansa,
mm-hmm.
which from the book, he is when Ned is alive, he's already staring at Sansa. So he's a weird dude, right? Yeah. But he's staring at Sansa when
that kind of happens.
Blackwater Bay is under attack, and he was there to behead the queen
mm-hmm.
if King's Landing is taken.
Well, and also in one of the chapters, I think it was the chapter we read last week, the Sansa chapter, where she's kind of walking with Joffrey, and she notices Barristan Selmy, and she sees Ilyn Payne, and he's kind of like, at times he kind of frightens me too.
Yeah.
Yeah,
yes,
that. And then Ilyn Payne, again, he is, I just have his wiki pulled up here. He's just
good. Okay.
He's just present for a lot of important things.
Exactly. That's
during the Battle of the Blackwater, he's in the room. He's supposed to, I guess, kill Sansa, then himself.
Yeah.
And then during a storm of swords, Lord Tywin Lannister takes ice from Ilyn and presents him with a new sword.
Yep.
Ilyn is present at King Joffrey Baratheon's wedding feast. So
and that
Joffrey asks him for a sword for his new wife. So that
read this. There's a description of the sword somewhere on there, I think. You'll come to it in just a moment.
This is the wiki. It doesn't actually.
Yeah.
It does. Yeah. Ilyn's now wields a great sword that is 6 feet long and is silver bright with runes.
It has dragon glass on it too, doesn't it?
Yeah. Ruby eyes on its pommel and has a chunk of dragon glass carved in the shape of a grinning skull.
Yeah. So,
but real quick, he brings the sword so that Joffrey can cut the wedding cake.
Yeah. Exactly. Yep.
Yeah.
And so, I just see if this were to go any which way, he's loyal to House Lannister
mm-hmm.
through and through. They've got the money, they've got the power. I don't see him, making any huge changes. They've been rewarded. I'm sure that Jaime and Cersei are going to follow their father's suit. He's rewarding him with a sword, a new position. He was captain of the guard,
and he's on Arya's list. He's on Arya's list. So I'm like, at some point in the show, I'm really like, is it just going to be a kind of quick? Oh, there he is. Let's kill him.
Yeah.
And in the books, I think it'll be a little more drawn out. So I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah, I think there will be an interesting way in which he does communicate something to us, and it'll be some mystery. So, let's see. What else does he say? We leave Ilyn Payne challenging Jaime and uttering a few beautiful words from a tongueless mouth. So,
Is he at work?
I don't know, but it's a good question by the Ghost, and I honestly hadn't thought a whole lot about Ilyn and his relationship with the Lannisters. I just because you kind of get when you first read this, you think, well, he's just a executioner. He's just the executioner who's been there. No, House Payne is very much from the Westerlands and very close in proximity to the Lannisters. So, okay, let's move on to the next question and see if we can.
Here we go. Gerald Dane, or the infamous Darkstar, ran from the Arrow Hota. After an attempt on Myrcella Lannister's life. He escapes into the sands of Dorne, potentially bound for his home, High Hermitage. The Dornish don't trust him. Cersei Lannister believes he is behind most of the attacks on her family. Myrcella asks if he is now the Sword of the Morning. He himself states he is of the night. What does it mean to be of the night? Why is the Night King so called? Who does Darkstar serve?
Okay, so now Sir Matt had mentioned earlier that I'm being haunted. Okay, this, if those of you who are patrons will know very shortly. Before I got this email, we sent out something very, very secretive about future plans for green dreams and things like that and stuff. And literally, almost verbatim, these were some of my thoughts and questions and stuff. So I'm being haunted, Sir Matt. But I'll say this. One of the things that I truly believe happened at the end of that whole encounter with Myrcella is, how in the show she's poisoned? I think a lot of people have speculated this, and I've been seeing this for years, that perhaps Darkstar actually had to poison on his blade. And when he stabs Myrcella and he cuts her, that she is slowly dying. And that he has actually killed a Lannister, and he's killed Myrcella. So because in the show she dies, right? She dies from that poisonous kiss by one of the sand snakes, right? And so I think she is going to die here. Now the question is, why would Darkstar do something like this? And Darkstar is Gerald Dane, right? You've heard of Sir Arthur Dane, big deal, right? This is a House Dane that's sort of like a lesser house, sometimes they call it like a cadet house, to House Dane of Starfell.
Kind of like think like Kevin Lannister and
so it would be like exactly. It's just a different branch of Lannister. What's just a different branch of Danes, And the question again is, so Myrcella does ask about is he now the Sword of the Morning, and he does state himself that he is of the night.
There are people. Let me tell you this. There are people I've seen go search. This is the sword Dusk. A lot of people think that there is a opposite sword of Dawn. That is going to be called Dusk. It'll be him, and there's going to be some battle there.
That's pretty cool. I think the other big thing here is that House Dane has been they've been close with the Targaryens. They have an interesting homestead in Starfall, and the Sword of the Morning is made from a fallen star, and it's very interesting. It's got that milky white glow to it. But Darkstar distinguishes himself and says he is different. He is something different. So I think he's a climber. I think he's someone who is trying to climb the ladders here, perhaps, and he may be.
A White Walker. Just say it.
Well, no, no. But Doran Martell. Do you remember we've talked about the theories of how Doran could be? Elia Martell is killed. Her children are killed, right? And all these different things. And House Martell has been pissed on essentially, right? And that's why the Viper is there. Fighting the Mountain and all that good stuff is happening. Well, I'm starting to think that this could be a directive from Doran Martell, right? Or however you say it, Doran Martell, and that he sent Darkstar to kill Myrcella, even though he has her in his custody.
Right.
He's taking care of her. If it seems like it's someone else, then he can pass the blame there to this Dark Star. Now, there are other people who believe that that Varys and Illyrio are paving the way for Aegon, right, coming across the Narrow Sea. And so, one of the things is to kind of weaken that line, weaken those players, whittle down either whether you come Baratheons or Lannisters, whatever, do harm to the Lannisters, and that maybe Varys could be a part of that. Because again, Varys, going back to Sir Ilyn Payne, is the opposite of Sir Ilyn Payne. He was very much in favor of the Mad King and warned him not to open his gates. To Tywin, right? And so we were kind of surprised by that. We've talked about that before. Like, what's his deal? If he's serving the realm, why would Varys do something like that? So I think either he's keeping face there or what have you. But a lot of people think that Varys could be the one who is ordering Darkstar around. Now, a third option is that he serves the night.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. I mean, he serves the night, and what does that mean? The night is dark and it is full of terrors.
Yeah.
Okay. And Melisandre says something interesting about shadows being the servants of light, actually. And that's how the shadow creature kills Renly Baratheon, right? So it's all a little mucky sometimes when you really start to think about it. But then I think the Ghost is making a mention here. Why is the Night King so called? King of the night,
essentially, yeah.
And then would Darkstar be a servant in some way of, the others? In the book, it would be the others, right? Yeah. Or some other faction. And I think you could make that case. Let me. I did pull up something here. I did a little bit of.
I mean, think about this.
Research.
Like, the Targaryens controlled the dragons, right? What's to say, there isn't a way for you to control the White Walkers? If you could theoretically control them, that'd be a pretty freaking powerful, thing. I mean, there are people that theorize that Theon may end up riding a Kraken at some point. So,
right, yeah. Let's see. There's a couple different things here. I was trying to find some quotes from Darkstar. It's a lot of digging here, but he mentions. Oh, he's talking about his house. My house goes back 10,000 years unto the dawn of days. Okay, he complained. Why is it that my cousin is the only Dane that anyone remembers?
It's true.
So he's upset about that. And we talk more about the sort of the mourning being a position, not just like we're going to pass it on to the next eligible Dane. I mean, he is an eligible Dane, and maybe it's less about the name. Maybe it just happens to be the Dane family.
Yeah.
But because we've talked about it, could it be Jon? Could Ashara Dane be his mother? And could he actually have Dane
be
blood?
The Sword of the Morning.
Yeah, exactly. So there's that whole piece. So it's more of a position that you have to be worthy of the
Might
sword.
be, man. Because that's the thing is everyone's like, is Dawn Lightbringer, right? It's a comet, it's glowing.
Right.
It's like, you think of a comet, it's like it lights up the night, the whole thing.
Right. Yeah. Okay. So Tyrion at one point is he's beginning to suspect that a certain, let's see, washerwoman knew more of the common speech than she pretended to.
Right.
He says, my niece Marcella is in Dorne as it happens, and I have half a mind to make her a queen. And this is more about the plot between Illyrio and Varys and how they're trying to either persuade Tyrion or help usher along this idea. Yeah, spread the Lannisters out a little bit, and then let's take them out, without Tyrion realizing it, and kill them, so that way they can bring on Aegon. So there's three different people for you guys. You've got Illyrio and Varys, you've got the Night King / the others, and you've got Doran Martell just seeking revenge on the Lannisters, and just Darkstar being his own master.
Yeah.
And wanting, to possibly just bring more honor and recognition to his house. Now another theme that Gur does in the books, and something I'll say we're going to watch going forward, is characters who are introduced sometimes, like Darkstar was, seem more sinister than they are. Right? And there's
Jaime
actually,
Lannister.
Yes. There's more reason to
the
this
Hound
than you would realize. Yeah. So, but it is sort of a crappy thing that he's trying to assassinate a young girl, Why would he do that? Sir Matt, what are your thoughts? What do you think?
I don't know, man. To be honest, I'm not really super familiar with Darkstar. But
I mean, just like the idea, like
yeah.
why would he kill Myrcella? Like, because they think he does. I think that his blade piercing her might be the result of her dying, or he's going to plan another attack or something. So clearly,
well, I think he is probably working with Doran Martell. Then, I mean, I think that's probably the easy go-to there. And Doran is always kind of doing something. That's the thing. Again, as we've said, this is that Doran will play a much bigger role in the books than the show, because the show freaked out because they started to get not bad ratings. I mean, it's still freaking Game of Thrones, but is that every time they did the Dorne episodes, they got worse ratings than some of the episodes around it. So the show freaked out, and they decided, well, let's just back out of the Dorne stuff. So I think Dorne could be, like, of all of the things that could be totally different, the Dorne angle is going to be totally different in the books.
Right.
Totally. I mean, completely different, because they're barely almost in the show.
Right. Yeah. Now, I think I was just thinking here, like, another motivator for Darkstar here could be, like, the Danes love, like, great knights and serving in that position of, like, possibly a king's guard. So if he can't get in with Joffrey or Tommen at that time,
right?
Then perhaps Aegon is his next best bet.
I mean, look at Barristan Selmy.
Yeah,
same kind of a thing.
Those guys they are commanders and generals. They command the troops and stuff. Even though they're the king of the King's Guard, like, they do the king's bidding. I mean, that would be a huge, powerful position for him. So, and he's up. The fact that he says he's of the night, pay attention to every word Gur says, because that could tell us a whole other thing here. Something very, very different. So, all right, thanks, Ghost. We appreciate it.
Yeah, I'm sure we'll be haunted by you again.
Yeah, challenges me every week.
So, all right, real quickly here, got a voicemail I kind of want to play. So let's just go ahead and take a listen here and give you some thoughts.
Hey, Sir Ezra, just calling saying, love the show, man. You guys are great. The solid mixture of books and actual show is, it's just lovely. I had a suggestion on your questions. When you put the questions out, why not consider randomly asking the question, either in the middle, beginning, and scatter the questions that you ask throughout the episode to make it fair on everyone, so that people don't just jump to the last 45 seconds or 2 minutes of the show. That'd be pretty cool, man. All right, guys. Keep it cool. And, tell us I'm hailing from good old Disney World down here in Dorne. So we'll see you guys later.
Okay, wow, awesome. Yeah,
because that's a good point. People are cheating, skipping to the end.
Yeah.
So unfortunately, I don't think we got your name, but thank you very much for calling. Hope you're having fun down there in Orlando and Dorne.
Yeah.
But great point. So, which leads me to trivia.
Yeah.
So some people are gonna be like, "Was there trivia?"
At the end,
I'll get some message. I'll get a message.
Where's the trivia question?
Yeah, maybe we should do a joke trivia
at the end. And people didn't listen to the whole thing. No,
they'll answer something else. Maybe like, who plays Ned Stark? Oh, it's Sean Bean. So I'll start getting emails being like, it's Sean Bean, and be like, what? Trivia, man.
This is the official trivia question right here.
Yeah, so
this will be fun. This is gonna throw people off big time.
Yeah,
they're like, you guys changed the format.
Yeah.
Hey, I don't know.
Right. It was by popular demand.
We might mix it up though. I think we should go middle and end and mix it up.
And sometimes we'll do it right at the beginning.
Oh.
So here we go. Who leads the faith of the Seven?
Yeah.
Throw that out there again. Who leads the faith of the Seven?
Who is it?
Kind of tricky.
Let us know.
Trick Sir Ezra up.
Yeah, it is tricky. I got it right though.
You did get it correct.
I got it right.
But initially you were kind of like, wait.
Yeah, but your face maybe you think like, oh wait, is it? Yeah.
So,
okay.
All right. Okay. Cool. All right. Okay. So back up here to some things. Okay. So Bannerman, who has no name, we already kind of talked about his thing again. So he just kind of responded here last Friday, I think it was. You asked your thoughts on the point of view chapter for the Dragon Pit when we finally get there.
Yeah.
I think it is. I think the ideal fit is Tyrion, so that's my vote. Though for entertainment value, I would love it to be Bronn. Yeah, and I believe Lord Adam Parker hit me up and said Cersei was his vote.
Yeah,
which I think Cersei kind of makes the most sense. I think it'd be really cool, really interesting.
Didn't Lord Adam Parker say something about it being
the person who speaks last?
Maybe would be this. So if that
but
were
Tyrion,
the case,
yeah, but Tyrion again. Tyrion's another. That's my guess is that it's Tyrion.
There's Tyrion. That would. Here's the thing: if Daenerys,
it goes the same way.
If Daenerys makes the same entrance that she does,
and I think she will,
it can't be her, right?
No, because she would get there too late.
Right. So it needs to be someone who's sort of organizing this. So it would be Tyrion.
Yeah.
I would think.
Yeah.
Now Bronn isn't with him and next to him, so that would be funny.
It would be
actually.
Cool.
And it would be something very different.
It would be to kind of get it from somebody's perspective because Bronn is technically working for Cersei at the time.
Yeah.
And so he's friends with Tyrion, and I don't think he really cares. And
yeah, good point. That's a good point.
Yeah. So it's like, it's all about POV and all huge. Yeah. So, So I just wanted to throw those out there, but Bronn is a good one. Does Bronn have a POV chapter?
I don't know.
I don't think
to
so.
be honest with you, I don't think he does.
Don't think so. So I'd like to see one.
Maybe he does.
All right. Well, anyway, here we go. Coach Hodge hit us up once again. I just noticed that in the show, season 1, episode 4, the dagger is sitting on an open book on Ned Stark's desk with maybe 5 to 5.5 minutes left in the episode. I didn't know the dagger was ever in his possession. In the
wait, in whose possession?
Ned Stark's.
In Ned Stark's possession.
In the show, I think when Catelyn comes, she gives it to him.
Okay.
And then don't they kind of go see Littlefinger and he kind of tells who it is?
I think so. Yeah. I don't actually remember him having it either. I didn't see that. I don't remember seeing. Yeah, that would be cool. We should go take a look.
Yeah. Well, we're going to when we do our show to book comparison.
So here's the thing.
Where does it go after that?
See, we need to track the blade.
We do, because Littlefinger gets it at some point, and that's the
we tried to do that a couple episodes ago, and I think
and he gets it and he has it under Ned Stark's throat. That's what he does. But does he disarm Ned?
Here's the thing.
I thought that's what I read.
Here's a challenge. I'm going to issue a little challenge to some of our listeners. If you could
track it,
but also provide. If this is the hard part and we tried this, and I just haven't had the time because I'm working on the Cersei project and a couple other different projects right now. Track where that blade is going and which book and who has it. It might be easier than we think, but I like to go by the books.
Right.
But then compare to the show. I'm fine to compare the show because
either is fine. We'd prefer the books, but if you are somebody who just watches the show,
yes,
tell us that too.
We need that too.
We need that both. Yeah.
Because sometimes there's a reason why they do things in the show that we might not, might not be privy to in the books yet because the show is beyond.
Yeah. And just stuff that's different, like.
Yeah, so that's kind of neat. Now, why would he have it? Like, is it just he still had it from when his wife brought it to him, right?
Yeah.
And it was inquiring about
Maybe they just he just held on to it.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. Okay.
So, all right, sorry. I think that's actually it for this week.
Okay.
I think that's the Ravens. I don't have any more listed down here. So,
let me check real quick. Do we get all the ones from our Gmail?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, we're saving a couple.
We're saving a couple
because those
are
are
really big, and we want to.
Those are we need to spend some honest time with that, and vacation has kind of gotten in the way. Yeah, that's my fault. I just now remember.
Okay.
So
it's the summer. We had to get some vacays in. So
yeah,
but after this,
after that, we're steamrolling all the way to Fire and Blood. I mean,
yeah, pretty
right.
much. Yep.
Yeah, there's no. Sorry, we don't have time for vacation.
Yeah. I'll be taking one. I'll be taking one vacation.
Oh, okay. Well, thanks.
At some point, you'll be taking a vacation too with me.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah,
that's right. I will be
when I make my trek,
road trip
across the country. We'll podcast on the road.
Oh hell,
because we're gonna have nothing to do.
Dude,
we're gonna be driving.
We're listening to the books. Yeah, we're driving across country. I forgot about that. Oh wow, that's gonna be epic. Oh, we'll be doing some live video. That's why you need to like the Facebook page because we'll be going live there on the road, checking out this kingdom of ours, this great kingdom that we live in, and the world
of Ice and Fire.
Of Ice and Fire. So yeah, just a final thought on all this today. I love it because it takes us different places in the book series and into the show.
Challenges us.
And it challenges us. And
we're
it's awesome.
And we're in different places. Like right now, I'm really heavy because I'm plowing through the older books, and I've gone back and listened to Dunk and Egg like 5 times because I just love it more, and I want to be like the Dunk and Egg expert. And Ez is a lot more versed in like
in
the later books, like
because what's fresh in my mind is
Dance of Dragons, Feast of Crows, and that stuff. I'm like, I don't really, I don't know it as well.
I think I spend a lot of time thinking about like where in the heck are these characters going to go. We used to talk about that with the show, like
and I think I might be a little more show heavy.
And some of our listeners, that's the thing, is that we know we have a wide variety of people who listen, to the podcast that either watch the show and that they're just show heavy and they want to learn more about the books. People who are very, very, very book heavy and just love that nitty gritty. Let's get into every line of Gur's text, and it's just a lot of fun. You never run out of stuff to talk about because there are so many loose ends to this. There's so much going on that it's wild. Can you imagine too when Fire and Blood comes and like what? Like what in the world are we going to do? There's so much.
And I will say real quick, we got an email from someone, and they were just kind of like, "Hey, I'm currently in a Clash of Kings. Where's like the best place to jump in your podcast?" Maybe they just saw we were a reread podcast.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
They didn't see. So if you just kind of pick this episode and it's your first time listening, so we are currently obviously in a Game of Thrones, and we're doing a chapter a week, but we talk about, especially on Fridays, we talk about the whole series. It's just an open discussion.
We couldn't do it otherwise. That was our big thing. We have to be able to talk about the whole series. That's why The Ghost is so awesome, and all of you guys sending in Lord Adam Parker, the discussions we have about the whole series. It's what it's all about. And we'll get to all those series in time, and we're doing the reread for a study. But what's unique about us is that we do the histories at the same time, and so we're trying to provide a little history.
We try to do the whole thing. Really,
I will go ahead and apologize since we did this upcoming Monday episode. I will be on vacation, so don't send me a bunch of hate. But the Dance of Dragons is tough.
It's really tough.
There's a lot in that, and so just be ready for that when you hear it. We give a brief overview. Could not go into all those details. It was just too much. We have to save that for a Black Council because I could have spent 2 hours on that and not ever got to the reread.
Never.
And that would have been that wouldn't have been good.
Right,
so.
and we run into that issue sometimes. And that's why we sometimes we'll put the reread first because just sometimes it's just we get what we get. Sometimes the reread is short. And then the World of Ice and Fire is like crazy long. Or sometimes the reread's a really long chapter and there's a lot, because even if it's a long chapter, it kind of depends what rabbit holes are there. Sometimes there's not a lot. Sometimes it's just describing what's going on.
Here's something, Sir Matt. I just thought of it. But like, for example, and we are kind of unique in since that we're going on vacation. We recorded the reread first. It is what it is. We don't typically
got a little preview.
Yeah, got a little preview. So, a little preview for that episode. The High Towers. Mm-hmm. Something that I'm finding very interesting is that the role that the High Towers play.
And you've said this before.
Right, that they play from Old Town, right, and near the Citadel, right, and just their maneuvering, right, and also what's going on currently in the series with the High Towers. When you look back at what happened during the Dance of Dragons and Otto Hightower and all the stuff that he was working on, it just really kind of makes me look at the series a little different. I think the Hightowers are plotting something, and there's something up. There's something going on in Old Town, and it is a large, if not one of the largest cities in all of Westeros. Mm-hmm. Very powerful place, a port, well defended, and lots of money there. Even you might not think that, but that is still a very powerful place. So the High Towers was one thing. Another two families that I've been thinking a lot about are the Brackens and the Blackwoods. When you get to the Blackfire Rebellion, I am now starting to understand the hatred between those two and the competing around Cersei Lannister.
And the Blackwoods, man, so many people think they're like a huge, important.
Yes.
History of Westeros, that's his symbol. It's Blackwood, I believe, right?
Is it? Yeah, it might be. I don't know.
Isn't the Blackwood sigil it's like the weirwood tree in the middle, and it's got like the red thing around it?
Is it? Let's see. Let's see. That's the kind of stuff that Sir Matt that I'm talking about.
We each pick up on different stuff.
I think you're right. I think you're right. Blackwood sigil, right? Is what we're looking for?
Yeah.
You are right, my friend.
Yeah, that's like History of Westeros' thing.
So what's up with that?
Yeah.
You've got all these.
This is.
I mean, this is the stuff this is stuff that sets me off, man.
And I'm just gonna go. And I'm just gonna go ahead and say it, Sir Ezra.
Yeah.
is once you start talking about the Blackwoods and the Weirwoods and this ancient power, this ancient magic, you're talking the Blackwoods. I think they're a little bit kind of north of like King's Landing, right?
Yeah. Yep.
So anyway, back to Lady Stoneheart.
Right. Back to Lady Stoneheart.
Like
it's at the core of everything that's going on here, and we got to get to the bottom of it.
She has some
connections to it.
Yeah,
there are some connections to House Blackwood from that angle. Yeah, there's also, I'll go ahead and throw this out here, back to Bloodraven.
Oh, absolutely.
So I mean, because that's the whole thing here. You've got are these ravens or crows on here? These are ravens. Yeah. This is Blackwood. That's House Blackwood there. Wow, that's a sigil and a half right there.
That's his parentage, isn't it?
Yeah.
Isn't he half Targaryen, half Blackwood?
Think so. Yeah. I think so. Because the Brackens. Yeah, I forgot. See, that was my connection.
It's like 11 p.m. and Sir Ezra and I are like looking at each other. We're kind of tired, and then we start getting this, and both our eyes are just like, yeah, let's go.
Oh man, because as soon as we shut this off, I'm going to go do a whole crap ton of research.
You're not going to
because I was thinking about it the other day. I remember I told you I was just like, hey man, look at House Blackwood and House Bracken a little bit closer because of Bittersteel and Bloodraven, and I was like, it's something it had not hit me for some reason. And in all the rereads and stuff that I'd done, it had not actually hit me as something super significant. And it is.
Yeah.
So anyways, we'll get there. But, oh gosh. All right, guys.
So much
goodness. I think that is it for Follow-Up Friday. Oh, I'll just mention real quick, we're near the end of the episode, right? We're good.
Done.
Okay, cool. So if you're fast forwarding to the end of the episode and you're looking for that trivia.
Yeah. Guess what?
It
ain't there.
It's not there.
So you can't cheat.
You better go back. You better rewind. And
you
try
listen to
the
whole
it.
thing, man. Someone is going to send me a message tomorrow morning, and they're going to be like, "Where's the trivia?"
Yeah.
We're also considering.
I'm sorry. I just think it's awesome.
We're also considering if you send the incorrect trivia answer. Yeah,
this one's tricky this week, and so. If you've been listening the whole time, you'll get a little clue here. If you've heard the trivia earlier, this will help you out. It is a little tricky. It is not a specific person. It is a position.
Yeah.
So that's all I'll say.
Yeah. So
that's a huge clue.
Yeah.
So have fun. But and I think that doesn't matter because it's like if you hit that earlier on, you've probably done the research and you know who it is. So
yeah. I think actually we may say it at some point in this episode.
Did we?
Yeah.
Did we? Wow, good for us. All right, guys. Thanks so much. Please send those ravens to BTK Cast. Leave us a voicemail.
Review on iTunes. Really
reviews on iTunes help us out.
Reviews on Facebook. We've been getting reviews on Facebook. Those are all huge.
Did I mention that? I can't even remember. It's been so long ago. We mentioned the Facebook at the beginning of the page, do we not?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Again, we're trying to hit that 200 likes there, and we'd like to make a group where you can post memes and all that goodness on Facebook. So we are at facebook.com/bendthenee. All right, Sir Matt, take us out.
I don't have my notes in front of me, so I guess I can kind of do it off memory. Well, as always, guys, how do we do this, sir?
You have this.
I know. I always do a house thing.
Did you type this in this week?
Yeah, I typed it in last week. Sorry, my computer's like dead. It's probably gonna die here.
Hey, it's okay. It's all right. In the words of House Stark, winter is coming.
Yeah, there we go.